I'm so excited to have with us Ryan Boss, Executive Director of the Capital Pride Alliance. Ryan, welcome to Let's Talk.
Thank you for having me, and happy Pride Month.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm surprised that you had a moment to talk with us because I've looked at the calendar. It is so jam-packed with activities, and you're still smiling. So that's a great thing.
Yes, our first event actually is tonight. It's our annual Capital Pride Honors, where we recognize individuals in the community that have supported the LGBTQ plus community through activism, through resources, through support and service, and kick things off for the week.
Wonderful. Tell us what is the mission and the goals of the Capital Pride Alliance?
It's really to provide platforms for members of our community to be visible, to be heard, as well as finding ways for our community to work together, to collaborate, share resources that ultimately serve our residents and amplify our community and our society. So the biggest events that folks are aware that we do every year is the annual Capital Pride celebration, which includes the parade and our big festival and concert. And something that we take huge pride in is that our festival and concert still remains free to the general public to ensure accessibility, but also just an opportunity to bring folks into the space to learn, to celebrate, and be around people that support them.
This is a week of recognition and honor and celebration, but we know that even with the advantage of being in the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., where the LGBTQ community is not as challenged as in other places, but there's still issues that I know that you all are addressing on behalf of the community, and others are joining you with that. So tell us a little bit about how you sort of support and advocate for the LGBTQ plus community.
With the parade and festival, these are places where many organizations, there'll be roughly 300 parade contingents consisting of local community organizations, to churches, to government agencies, corporations, businesses, as well as around 300 folks exhibiting at the festival. So this is an opportunity for folks to get their message out, to be heard. There'll be folks, I'm sure, in this parade. Definitely, Pride originated as a protest. It continues to be a protest by just us gathering as community and being visible. So we encourage folks to continue to be vocal. In addition, we are part of an international association called Interpride. And if folks aren't aware, and you can see on my button, is we were awarded the opportunity to host World Pride. So next year in 2025, Capital Pride will become World Pride. So as you can see in the banner, this year's theme is Totally Radical. That we kick off tonight with the honors and go through a variety of events throughout the week to our parade and festival. And then we will be transitioning through the year, so really promoting World Pride, bringing our international community together. Annually, we estimate around 650,000 folks engage in Pride in some capacity. And with World Pride, we are estimating up to 3 million folks we will be welcoming here to our nation's capital.
So I have to bring this out. This is probably a little known, I don't want to say Black history or DC history fact, but I know that the first Pride Parade, I think you had one well-known objector who was my dad, who was very upset because the parade was being held on Father's Day. And I mean, in the end, I think he became a real advocate and supporter, but heads, were bumped because of the date that was selected. I don't know what you all do now to kind of get that calendar. As one who does the MLK parade, we don't have a lot of choices in the day we select, but you all do. So, I'm just curious about, how you selected or how this time of year becomes the time to do the Pride Parade.
Yeah, well, I mean, Pride was born out of the Stonewall riots
Hmm.
back in 1970 or 69. And then Pride was born the year after to commemorate that activism. And that event happened at the end of June. So that's why there are a lot of Pride that happen around the country, such as New York and San Francisco, and Chicago, all the sort of the last weekend of the month. And you'll see a lot of prides, obviously, try to spread it out as much as possible in June. We now have, there's prides that happen later in the year as well. Again, to really make sure that folks know that we need to have pride not just in June. We need to have pride 365. We need to support our community 365. We need to be visible. We need to get out and vote this year. That's obviously a way that we need to advocate, and we'll encourage our community to get out and make their voices heard at the ballot box. Because as we all know, our rights as citizens are being threatened. There was progress that was made over the past 10 years, and that progress is there are people actively trying to peel away those rights and those freedoms that we have earned, and to be acknowledged as humans. So we are fighting to not have that happen and to continue to expand rights and justice for all.
Well, we can totally understand and appreciate the work that you all do. Is it too late for people to participate in any parts of the? I know your Pride Parade is like miles long with hundreds of groups, and it's really, really it's kind of a city celebration because you go through the heart of the city. I think what is it, through Shaw and some other areas. But is it too late for folks to participate or to volunteer? And if so, how would they do so? If not, how would they do so?
Right. Well, the parade and festival registration is closed,
Okay.
but there is other ways for folks to participate. You mentioned volunteering. We still need lots of volunteers. That is a great way, even as organizations, to come out as a group to help us marshal the parade, which is actually a new route this year. So if folks aren't aware yet, our parade will be still starting in the same location it has the last 2 years at 14th and T Streets Northwest. But we'll be going all the way down 14th Street to Pennsylvania Avenue. And we'll be turning left right at Freedom Plaza. And we'll finish at 9th and Pennsylvania. And this is a dress rehearsal for next year. Because we know for World Pride, we wouldn't be able to do our normal route that goes through both the Logan and DuPont neighborhoods. So we are giving this a trial run to be able to accommodate larger crowds and to give both folks the local experience, because we have such a rich community in Washington, as well as obviously the responsibility we have as the nation's capital. So volunteer, capitalpride.org/volunteer, capitalpride.org to see all the many events that are taking place beginning this evening. Not just during this week, but also through a lot of our partners in the community as well throughout the month.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so happy to have you with us today to share this event. I know what you're going through when it comes to trying to put a route together. And then, like you said, in view of the fact that the event that we'll be hosting in the district next year, with all those people, yeah, my fingers will be crossed for you that everything works out and you come up with something that's really great. So,
thank you. We're going to need the entire community to be a part of this. It's
yeah,
going to be definitely it's something that we all can take pride in. And I did want to just mention one other thing
sure.
is one of the legacies that we're hoping to gain through hosting World Pride and we're actively doing right now is our organization, along with our the DC LGBTQ plus Community Center. We have the highest percentage of LGBTQ out individuals in the country, but not necessarily the most adequate community center to meet the needs. So we have entered into a joint effort along with approximately 6 to 8 other organizations for a new community center that we will hopefully be opening up before the end of this year in the Shaw neighborhood, right next to Howard Theater. So one of the things that this Pride will be doing is raising much needed resources to make this community center a reality that can ultimately serve our community and that we can showcase for World Pride.
And we'll be able to find more information about that on the website?
That is correct, correct, at capitalpride.org.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. We'll have a lot to talk about going forward. So, we'll just schedule some more time to talk about how this parade turned out, when you cut your ribbon for the community center, we want to make sure that we're there. And also as we build up to World Pride, so we want to be there as well.
That's great. Well, happy Pride, everybody.
Oh, Brian,
yes.
Chevy reminded me, how could we forget your grand marshals?
Oh.
I mean, well, you all struck gold this year.
Yes, we're excited. Billy Porter has been doing his Pride rounds throughout the country at various Prides, so we're honored to have him as one of our grand marshals. He'll also be performing on Sunday at the concert, as well as Kiki Palmer as a special guest. Will also be one of our grand marshals on Saturday for the parade and performing on Sunday at the concert. So we're very much honored to have them both participate along with our other performers. Expose for those from the 80s. We'll have a little throwback to be in our theme this year of Totally Radical, as well as Ava Max, which a lot of folks are excited about. And for those RuPaul Drag Race fans, Sapphira Cristal will be joining us as well.
Well, it's definitely a star-studded event with really big name folks that are coming, and people who not just perform, but are advocates, for the rights and privileges of the LGBTQ plus community. So you picked carefully, you picked well, and looks like you're going to have a great event.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you out there.
All righty. Take care, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.